Welcome to the Worst of the RIOT podcast. Coming up, what's more important, a honeymoon or an engagement ring?
Also, we got him. The cyberflasher is officially behind bars. And more on the Worst of the RIOT podcast.
We talked yesterday how Amazon Prime Video, they are working with Mr. Beast. They apparently have a deal in place for a game show. The biggest payout in game show history. It's going to be $5 million. But that's really all of the info we have on that. But we do have more info from Amazon Prime Video. It seems they're doubling down on the game shows in 2024. It seems that they are working with none other than Travis Kelce, Mr. Taylor Swift, on a reboot of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, where he will be the host.
Bringing a classic back.
Yeah. I didn't know this, but Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Its original run with Jeff Foxworthy, that ended in 2011. It's been 13 years since that's been on the air. Technically not 13 years. John Cena hosted it on Nickelodeon for a little bit, but it's really been 13 years since it was anywhere, and now they're thinking of bringing it back. Do you think it's a smart idea?
Do I think bringing the show back is a smart idea?
Yeah.
I think it feels like a fine idea. It was a decent show.
With Travis Kelce as the host?
If Jeff Foxworthy can do it.
Sure.
I'm sure Travis Kelce can handle it.
He can handle it. Do you think he's, I'm just curious. I mean, I feel like he's more charismatic than I realized because he's got his podcast that is very successful. But you have to be, like, especially a show like Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? You got to be funny. You got to be real funny, quick on your feet. You think that's Travis Kelce?
I honestly would have leaned with his brother.
Yeah.
Over him, if I'm being honest. I think Travis
his brother's
has a
shirtless,
good shtick.
Also, I think.
Yeah, I think Travis has a good shtick, but it's a lot better when he's with his brother, who's a little bit more charismatic, if I had to say.
Yeah, or?
I don't know if wit is his fortune.
Yeah, that's right. Why not both? Why not both? Put them together. That could be a combo.
That'd be too expensive.
Yeah. What do you think? What is this with Amazon and bringing back, putting game shows on Prime Video? Who's asking for this?
I don't know.
A big audience of game show wanters out there that have nowhere to turn, and Amazon is about to give them a place to turn?
Well, how about this? A lot of people have gotten rid of cable.
Mm-hmm.
They've gotten rid of that, so they're not able to watch game shows, who used to be game show watchers.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe some older people that love game shows, or younger people like me that like game shows, if they only have Amazon Prime, they can't watch them. Now they can.
Yeah. Another thing is, like, sometimes game shows, particularly, I feel like Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader with Travis Kelce could be a good kind of show to just throw on when you don't actually want to watch. You know, just kind of have it on in the background, or like while you're on your phone and you're paying attention more to your phone than the TV. This would be perfect for that. And so Amazon, they've got to have some shows that are obviously that, and not like, well, this might be that, or it might just be a show I don't want to watch at all.
It's a good idea to have shows on your platform that people don't actually need to watch. Yes. Those are good ones.
Yes, sometimes you need that.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Isaiah, I don't know if you saw these rumors swirling yesterday about James Bond. For a while, it seemed that the next actor to portray James Bond had been chosen. There was headlines going out. It was a report by The Sun from the UK that Aaron Taylor Johnson would be taking over. He had been offered the role as James Bond.
I've heard about this.
But later on, it came to light that report was an error, and no decisions had been made yet. So the offer, as far as we know, has not been extended to Aaron Taylor Johnson. And so it's still up in the air whether he still very well may be the next James Bond, but it doesn't sound like a done deal like it was initially being reported.
But could it also be they want to release it themselves? They didn't want the rumors swirling around it.
Or did somebody in the James Bond camp, one of the decision makers, be like, all right, let's leak this. Let's throw this out there, see how people react. If they don't react well enough, then we can say, no, that's a lie, a rumor. And then if they really like it, though, then we can be like, yes, it's true.
Do you think that Aaron Taylor Johnson would be a good James Bond?
I think he makes some sense, right?
I think so.
He's a little more wily than some other James Bonds of the past. Definitely more wily than Daniel Craig seems in the role, but he's good looking enough. He's a little suave.
Because that's what James Bond has to be.
That's one of the things.
Hudson.
Well, you don't want an ugly James Bond. I'm sorry to say. You know what? Who would go to the theaters for that? Nobody. Nobody would go see ugly James Bond. So yeah, he's good looking enough. He's suave enough, and he's got that little wily little bit of an edge to him. I think it could work. Would it be my first choice? Possibly not. But do I think he can make it work? I think absolutely. If they go with him, that's a fine choice.
Some other ones that are being considered. James Norton. That do anything for you?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's not very memorable.
Okay.
He's in Happy Valley, which is a show.
Is that big in the
McMafia,
UK?
Grant Chester, none of that jazz.
These must all be UK things. I have no idea what any of those
How
are.
about Tom Hardy?
You know, I like Tom Hardy. He is a little more of a tough guy edge.
Is he too tough to be James Bond?
Yeah, I don't know. Have we ever had?
Does he seem suave enough?
Oh, he's suave.
You
Tom
think
Hardy.
he's suave?
Yeah, I think he's suave. He's got a little bit of a country boy side to him, but he's suave. Yeah, for sure.
Henry Cavill.
I'm out on Henry Cavill.
You're out on Henry Cavill?
Yeah, I feel like he's a little too dorky for me. Sorry, Henry. You just go do your nerd stuff. Your Dungeons and Dragons.
Because he wears glasses?
No, because he's into Warhammer and stuff. You go do that stuff. Leaves James Bond to somebody else.
The final one, Cillian Murphy.
Oh no.
No. He's a hot name right now. I don't know if you watch the Oscars or not.
I watched the Oscars, and I don't know if you've seen Cillian Murphy. He looks like a ventriloquist dummy come to life. He's not James Bond. I'm sorry, Cillian Murphy. You can't be James Bond. That I don't want. He's not even ugly. Isn't even the right word. I'm not going to call him ugly. He's just not. He doesn't have the James Bond look. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't do it. I cannot support that.
You're out on Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, not for James Bond. Great actor. He's not James Bond.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. RadioU.
I don't know if you know this, Isaiah, but it's Short King Spring.
Short King what?
It's Short King Spring. Have you heard?
I haven't. Nobody's called me.
No, they should have let you know. I mean, you're a Short King, right?
Precisely.
It's your season. It's Short King season. And I'll tell you who's getting in on Short King Spring. Dunkin' Donuts.
Now that sounds like they're making fun.
No, they're trying to support the Short Kings out there.
They're making fun.
Dunkin' Donuts, in honor of Short King Spring, they are showing their support. They say, in honor of the first day of spring and our loyal Short King fans out there, beginning as of yesterday, a Dunkin' small iced regular coffee will be available in the Dunkin' app under the name The Short King. They're switching it up.
Real funny, Dunkin'.
What do you mean, real funny?
Real funny. Trying to make fun of us Short Kings.
They're not making fun of you.
They're trying to profit off of us, Hudson. Open your eyes.
I think this is they're showing their solidarity. They're trying to support all the Short Kings out there. They're trying to raise you up, make you a little taller. It's as if now the Short Kings are all resting on Dunkin's shoulders.
They're selling us on discount, Hudson. We're a discount coffee drink. They're not even full pricing us right now. They're saying we're worth half as much.
Half as much as a regular man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What is this? What are they calling the regular and the tall now? Do they have at least at Starbucks they're calling it like tall and grande.
Mm-hmm.
The short is called tall.
It's just actually insulting.
That is insulting.
Yeah. So you don't see this as a compliment.
They're not doing me some favor here.
Yeah, you don't see this as raising you up as a Short King.
Because I know what's gonna happen. I know exactly what's gonna happen.
Okay.
My girlfriend's gonna go to Dunkin', right?
Yeah.
And she's gonna order the Short King, and who's she gonna think of? She's gonna think of me. I don't want to be coincided.
Is that bad though?
I don't want to be coincided with that. And then she's gonna call me and she's gonna be like, guess what I'm holding? A short little cup. My short little king. And I'm like, you get this crap out of here. Move along.
I don't know. I think maybe if more and more ladies have to go to Dunkin' Donuts and say, yes, please give me a short king.
I'll take one short king,
It'll
please.
make them used to saying it, and then maybe they'll not just think about it in terms of coffee, but also in terms of their dating life. They're like, hey, maybe short kings. I had them at Dunkin' Donuts. Not so bad. Not so bad. Maybe my mind is open to a short king.
Now I go to Dunkin' Donuts and only order the short king.
Yeah, you're just really trying to prop it up.
Every time you go through the drive-thru, they're like, for 50 cents more, you can get the medium. I'm like, no, I don't want it. The short king, please. More than enough.
In solidarity. This is who I am. And
how will I even hold that huge cup?
If I don't support the short kings at Dunkin' Donuts now, then it could be the end of short kings, around the world in our future prospects. So, well, now it's an option. And Short King Spring, celebrate, have a good time.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Dell, the computer company, they seem to be instituting a controversial policy here. In the age of working from home, they are reportedly telling employees that if they are remote workers, they will no longer be considered for promotions unless they report to an approved office at least 3 days a week.
Womp womp.
Fair or unfair?
Hard to say. I feel as if you have the capability to go into work and all they're asking is 3 days a week, it sounds like that's what they want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like it's not that big of a deal.
But what if you're really good at doing work from home? If you're getting it done and they're like, oh, this guy, look, I don't know how it works, but he's got a 95 score and the next guy's got a 90, but he comes into the office and you're giving it to the 90. Why not give it to the 95? He's doing a great job just because he's not showing up at the office.
Well, that's the whole thing with remote work is everyone saying, but I'd rather do it at home.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get it done at home, that's good. But this is just Dell's policy. They want you in the office. I understand it. They want to get people back in the office. I feel like for a majority of people, it could even be the fact that people don't want to do Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
Like there's people, the management people are in the office. Like if they're in the office like every day and you're always at home and they're having to work, like have half the room be in a regular meeting and half the room be in a Zoom meeting, that's annoying for you not to be there. And so little things like that.
Because they're jealous.
Yeah, little things like that are parts of things that just make it a little bit more of a strain for the people that work at home if you are one of the people that come into the office.
Mm-hmm. You know what sucks, though?
What?
Think about this. They're telling all these remote workers, right? You have to come into the nearest office at least 3 days a week, or you have no chance of a promotion. You can keep working here, but you're going to be doing the same job for the rest of your life as long as you keep working here, and you will never get promoted. And so what are you going to do as a remote worker? You're going to be like, well, all right, I guess I'd like maybe possibly to be considered for a promotion one day. So I guess I'm going to start coming in 3 days a week. And you know what's going to happen?
You're not getting that promotion.
You're not getting promoted. You're still not going to get promoted.
No chance you're getting promoted.
Yeah, this is silly. This is silly is what this is.
You should keep working from home.
I'm not a fan. Yeah, just you know what? If Dell is going to say this might be a little raising a little flag to you to say maybe you should work elsewhere where they're a little more supportive of remote work, possibly. Because if you have the capability and you're doing a fine job, who are they to say?
And for some people, I think that if you need to work from home, then the promotion thing won't matter to you. Mm-hmm. Like if you have like maybe a young child that you're watching during the day, the promotion doesn't matter to you. You would rather just work from home. Mm-hmm. But if you have if you have no reason to be working from home, then the whole going in thing, you're working anyway. It shouldn't be a big deal either.
Everybody can come up with an excuse for why they should work from home.
Yeah, every single person that works from home is like, but I need to.
Yeah, no, I have a dog. So
he can't be left alone.
It's better for him if I work from home.
My cat. Has a lot of separation anxiety.
Yeah, that's right. This is my real recommendation. You know what I'd say? If you're a remote worker at Dell, you know what you do? You keep working from home. You keep remote working. Don't go into the office and just work so good dare them. Be like, I dare you not to give a promotion to me. Look how good I'm doing. You're really going to just, because I'm not coming into the office, you're not going to promote me? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
It is The Riot on Radio U, 877-2-RADIO-U. And joining us this morning for the very first time ever, we have basketball scouting and analytics expert, Ryan Hammer. Ryan, thanks for hopping on with us today. It's a great time to get to catch up with you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm excited. I appreciate you having me on.
Beautiful. Well, as we know, this is like the biggest week of the year for you probably, with March Madness going on. And for so many people that have been listening the whole season, maybe haven't been paying that much attention to the college basketball season, they're ready to fill out their bracket, and they have just as much of a shot as any of us to be able to get the darn thing right. Yeah. But what the start of it is coming up with a champion. It's always the hardest part. And for so many people, they come into it and they're blindly picking. But you have come up with a criteria based off of past winners that can determine a list of teams that, by the metrics, could be a champion this year. So for the people driving it home that want to pick their champion, what are the teams that have an actual shot of winning it this year?
There are 7 teams that made that list. And it's funny because like sometimes I don't even like listen to that list and listen to the things that I tell everyone else. I think that's why they always end up doing better than I do. These people, everyone that's listening to me. But the 7 teams were Purdue, Arizona, and Houston in like a tier 1 group, and then UConn, Marquette, Auburn, and North Carolina in the second group. But realistically, all 7 have a good chance.
There we go. There we go.
So if you pick one of those.
Yeah, I'd say if nothing else, that's a good tiebreaker.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know you have, Ryan, a bunch of key metrics you use, like based off of past champions to determine who is more likely to win. But if you're talking, the other thing people have to pick is some early upsets. Do you have any ways to determine any teams that you've found that seem to be particularly likely, particularly ripe for an upset this year?
Yeah, I think it's tough because there are teams that I think fit that criteria, like McNeese State, who's a 12 seed. They're going to play Gonzaga in the first round, but I hate their matchup against Gonzaga, and then their second round matchup is tough also. So there are it's like a yes and a yes. There are teams that I think fit the criteria that you want in an underdog, but you have to look at matchups. And I think that's why I look at a team like James Madison. They're playing Wisconsin. I love their matchup in the first round. I think Wisconsin's good, but they play different styles of pace, like speeds of play, and JMU loves to shoot. Wisconsin's going to let their opponents shoot, so that doesn't bode well for their defense. So I look at matchups and try to find gaps and differentials versus just falling in love with teams.
Yeah, I love that. And as you look, especially with people that haven't been paying attention this season, they like to fall in love with teams that in the past have been like blue bloods. Like my girlfriend was figuring out her bracket last night, and I'm watching her as she picks it. And I mean, of course, she's fallen right in love with Duke, UConn, North Carolina, Kansas, like these big name schools that have had so much success in the past in the tournament. The people who haven't been paying attention this year are going to fall right back in love with them. Of those teams that are going to jump off the page at people, who are some of the ones that you don't have as much faith in this year that are going to make a run like they maybe have in the past?
Yeah, I'm low on Kansas this year. They've been good at their peak, but first of all, they have a really tough game. Their first game against Samford, they play it's called Bucky Ball because their coach's name is Bucky. It's like full steam, a lot of guys off the bench, fast pace, full court press, a lot of threes, very, very fun and exciting. But Kansas is not healthy, even if their guys are all going to be playing. They don't go deep into the bench, so they could get fatigued by playing against that kind of style. And I think that Kansas just hasn't been themselves for the last really month of the season, so I'm fading them a little bit.
There you go. You heard it from Ryan. Ryan, can we call you Hammer?
It's my name. It's a blessing and a curse. So
I love it. We've loved it all week. We've been talking. We said we can't wait to talk to Hammer this weekend.
So he's giving you Samford, maybe be able to take out Kansas. He's giving you the list of champions there. And I got to ask you one more question. Settle a little bit of a debate as the basketball actual expert here in the room. How many brackets do you think you're actually going to be filling out before everything tips off tomorrow?
So I'll probably only do 2 or 3 total, probably 2 brackets total.
Yes.
But the problem is I'm going to change them 40 times each.
So you might as well just do what I do and fill out 40. You know?
We went back and forth all week. I'm like, because I'm a type of guy that I do like 1 or 2, and I'm just locked in. If my bracket sucks, my bracket sucks. But I want to be locked in the whole time. And Hudson is the complete opposite. He's got 25 men's. He's got 25 women's. He has every possibility, I think. So there's no matter what.
Yeah, he's playing the math and the odds game. I like that. I used to do that. I used to do like a mascots bracket, a coin flip bracket.
Yeah.
I used to shoot on my mini hoop and do a mini hoop bracket.
Yeah.
But at this point, I've just gotten to, I have to put like a public bracket out there. So I basically just use that one.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Ryan, you've given us a lot of good info here. I know you've got even more good info. Where can people find you to get more basketball insight?
Yeah, I think if people search my name on social media, Ryan Hammer, it's either Ryan Hammer 9 or Ryan Hammer 09. At this point of the year, if you search me on whatever social media, you should be able to find me just fine.
Love it. All right. Thanks for taking some time with us, and good luck with your perfect bracket this year.
Not happening. Appreciate it, man.
It is The Riot.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
It is The Riot on Radio U, 877-2 RadioU. And joining us this morning for the very first time ever, we have basketball scouting and analytics expert Ryan Hammer. Ryan, thanks for hopping on with us today. It's a great time to get to catch up with you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm excited. I appreciate you having me on.
Beautiful. Well, as we know, this is like the biggest week of the year for you probably, with March Madness going on. And for so many people that have been listening the whole season, maybe haven't been paying that much attention to the college basketball season, they're ready to fill out their bracket, and they have just as much of a shot as any of us to be able to get the darn thing right. Yeah. But what the start of it is coming up with a champion. It's always the hardest part, and for so many people, they come into it and they're blindly picking. But you have come up with a criteria based off of past winners that can determine a list of teams that by the metrics could be a champion this year. So for the people driving it home that want to pick their champion, what are the teams that have an actual shot of winning it this year?
There are 7 teams that made that list. And it's funny because like sometimes I don't even like listen to that list and listen to the things that I tell everyone else. I think that's why they always end up doing better than I do. These people, everyone that's listening to me. But the 7 teams were Purdue, Arizona, and Houston in like a tier 1 group, and then UConn, Marquette, Auburn, and North Carolina in the second group. But realistically, all 7 have a good chance.
There we go. There we go.
So if you pick one of those.
Yeah. I'd say if nothing else, that's a good tiebreaker.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know you have, Ryan, a bunch of key metrics you use, like based off of past champions to determine who is more likely to win. But if you're talking, the other thing people have to pick is some early upsets. Do you have any ways to determine any teams that you've found that seem to be particularly likely, particularly ripe for an upset this year?
Yeah, I think it's tough because there are teams that I think fit that criteria, like McNeese State, who's a 12 seed. They're going to play Gonzaga in the first round, but I hate their matchup against Gonzaga, and then their second round matchup is tough also. So there are it's like a yes and a yes. There are teams that I think fit the criteria that you want in an underdog, but you have to look at matchups. And I think that's why I look at a team like James Madison. They're playing Wisconsin. I love their matchup in the first round. I think Wisconsin's good, but they play different styles of pace, like speeds of play. And JMU loves to shoot. Wisconsin's going to let their opponents shoot, so that doesn't bode well for their defense. So I look at matchups and try to find gaps and differentials versus just falling in love with teams.
Yeah, I love that. And as you look, especially with people that haven't been paying attention this season, they like to fall in love with teams that in the past have been like blue bloods. Like my girlfriend was figuring out her bracket last night, and I'm watching her as she picks it. And I mean, of course, she's fallen right in love with Duke, UConn, North Carolina, Kansas, like these big name schools that have had so much success in the past in the tournament. The people who haven't been paying attention this year are going to fall right back in love with them. Of those teams that are going to jump off the page at people, who are some of the ones that you don't have as much faith in this year that are going to make a run like they maybe have in the past?
Yeah, I'm low on Kansas this year. They've been good at their peak, but first of all, they have a really tough game. Their first game against Samford, they play a it's called Buckyball because their coach's name is Bucky. It's like full steam, a lot of guys off the bench, fast pace, full court press, a lot of threes, very, very fun and exciting. But Kansas is not healthy, even if their guys are all going to be playing. They don't go deep into the bench, so they could get fatigued by playing against that kind of style. And I think that Kansas just hasn't been themselves for the last really month of the season, so I'm fading them a little bit.
There you go. You heard it from Ryan. Ryan, can we call you Hammer?
It's my name. It's a blessing and a curse.
I love it. We've loved it all week. We've been talking. We said we can't wait to talk to Hammer this weekend.
So he's giving you Samford, maybe be able to take out Kansas. He's giving you the list of champions there. And I got to ask you one more question. Settle a little bit of a debate as the basketball actual expert here in the room. How many brackets do you think you're actually going to be filling out before everything tips off tomorrow?
So I'll probably only do 2 or 3 total, probably 2 brackets total.
Yes.
But the problem is I'm going to change them 40 times each.
So you might as well just do what I do and fill out 40. You know?
We went back and forth all week. I'm like, because I'm a type of guy that I do like 1 or 2, and I'm just locked in. If my bracket sucks, my bracket sucks. But I want to be locked in the whole time. And Hudson is the complete opposite. He's got 25 men's. He's got 25 women's. He has every possibility, I think. So there's no matter what.
Yeah, he's playing the math and the odds game. I like that. I used to do that. I used to do like a mascots bracket, a coin flip bracket.
Yeah.
I used to shoot on my mini hoop and do a mini hoop bracket. Yeah. But at this point, I've just gotten to, I have to put like a public bracket out there. So I basically just use that one.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Ryan, you've given us a lot of good info here. I know you've got even more good info. Where can people find you to get more basketball insight?
Yeah, I think if people search my name on social media, Ryan Hammer, it's either Ryan Hammer 9 or Ryan Hammer 09. At this point of the year, if you search me on whatever social media, you should be able to find me just fine.
Love it. All right. Thanks for taking some time with us, and good luck with your perfect bracket this year.
Not happening. Appreciate it, man.
It is The Riot.
There's never been a can of worms they didn't open. The Riot, Radio U.
This is crazy. But I think it seems appropriate. I'm surprised that it took this long. In the UK, a man known as the cyberflasher has been sentenced to over a year in prison for cyberflashing.
Cyberflashing?
Yeah, you know what that is.
Sounds like a virus.
It is a virus. It's a disease that needs to be cut out of our society is what it is. This is a guy who was sending lewd and lascivious pictures of himself to people with WhatsApp and with iMessage. It's unclear, even after this whole trial, whether he knew these people, but this is the first time that they've actually sentenced somebody to prison for sending dirty pictures to people who didn't want to receive them. I guess in the past, you could do that. There's some kind of punishment, but it's not the same as if you flash somebody in person, because that's really what you're doing, right?
Same thing.
Yeah. And so now I don't know what the rules are going to be in the United States for this, but in the UK, this is the first time that they've had somebody, because this law just went into effect, that you can be sentenced to prison for sending somebody naked pictures that didn't ask for them.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You got to think he's sentenced to 66 weeks in prison.
Yeah.
About a year and 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And was already on probation during the offenses for exposure, just pretty much flashing people.
Yeah. So
already in person, not just the cyber ones.
He just can't control himself. Does that mean that if he wasn't on probation, that this punishment would have been less? Do you think a year in prison is pretty appropriate? Now, this is another wrinkle to the case, is that this guy, one of the individuals he sent pictures to, was underage. And again, it's unclear if he knew these people that he was sending them to, or if he was just indiscriminately just sending stuff out, and it happened to be somebody who was underage. But nevertheless, that makes it worse, of course. So then you wonder if it was just, like, what would the punishment be? Is this like the most extreme punishment he could get because he was already on probation? It was a minor, or is this just like, could it be worse? Could it be worse?
Well, you got to think, for this guy here, not contributing to society in any positive ways.
No, this is a big negative.
Yeah, huge negative here. Also, just the whole randomness of it. He needs to take some time by himself to sit in jail for a while.
Yeah.
Recontemplate some choices he's making. I don't think that this is a bad thing for him to do.
Yeah.
And the fact that I think he needs to sit in jail for a little bit. Think this through. Think his life through, and figure out how he can contribute to society in a positive way, because clearly what he's doing, ridiculous. I mean, what in the world are you thinking?
Yeah. Well, you have to imagine somebody that just is a repeat offender on this, not even just once. You need some therapy. You need some kind of you got something going on in your mind.
And what is the positive? What is the best? My question is always, what is the best case scenario from just a public flashing? What are you thinking? What are they going to reply with? Looking good. What do you think going to happen here?
I don't know.
That's why I'm always surprised at what the end goal would be for a guy like this. 39 years old, you've lived long enough to know that this is wrong.
Yeah. And he's done it multiple times, whether in person or through WhatsApp. I don't know. I don't know what the end goal is of a flasher, cyber or otherwise. I can't put myself in those shoes. In fact, Isaiah, I've never been naked, so I don't even know what that's like.
And you got to think too, for a cyber flasher is even worse. Because if you're flashing people in person, which has been happening for years and years and years, I don't know why you would want to do that for a rush or something, but sending it via text online from your bedroom seems like just a crazy thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
To random people.
To random people.
You
don't even know.
What's the pro there?
Now they're tracing it back to you. If you were very quick at flashing in person, you might get away with it. But if you send it through text,
there's always evidence.
Right. There's evidence right there.
Always evidence. And
nobody wants to look at it, but it's there.
And you got to think, too, when he gets out of jail, how long before we allow this man to have a phone again?
I don't think he should ever.
He can never have a phone again, right? An iPhone,
phones.
He can't have a camera phone.
Yeah.
He cannot have
That's
a camera
right.
phone.
He can have a flip phone with no camera.
Yes.
Even though I feel like he'd find a way to use that wrongly as well.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Today, this one came from right up here. Isaiah and I's old noggins, our very own creativity, came up with this. Because it's National Proposal Day, we started getting in the mood for romance, started thinking about weddings and things of that nature. And so the question is, would you rather spend a whole bunch of money, let's say, I don't even know what the amount of money. Spend all the money on an engagement ring or spend all the money on the honeymoon? What's more important?
We're looking at a really expensive engagement ring or a really expensive honeymoon.
Yeah. But just imagine you get one or the other.
Yeah, you only get one or the other.
Yeah. 8772 Radio U. Chime in with your thoughts on this. And I guess as a guy, I guess this is open to interpretation too, right? You can think, especially as a guy, are you thinking spending all the money on that engagement ring, or are you putting yourself in the woman's shoes and thinking, if I was a woman, would I rather have the expensive engagement ring or the expensive honeymoon? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or think as a guy, would it make your gal more happy to spend?
Yeah, you got to break it down in your own relationship.
Yeah.
Figure it out with your lady. If you're married, it's kind of your everyday life. What's going to work out better for you there, brother?
Yeah.
Is your girl going to be real upset?
Yeah.
If her engagement ring isn't amazing? Or is that going to mean a lot to her? Maybe you can find joy in giving her something really special.
And then also think about this as a guy. Think about if the honeymoon is much more important to you than the ring, and the gal, it's opposite, should you even be together?
That's wild.
Yeah, but if your priorities are clearly different.
But you got to think, I mean, how many guys are going to raise their hand and say the engagement ring for them is going to be the go-to thing?
Right.
But you got to think for your couple. Figure it out. If your girl, if it doesn't so much matter to you about the engagement ring, as you guys as a pair, and you think she would really enjoy the trip, maybe that's your pick.
Yeah, you just got to.
And then obviously, if you're a lady here, then you just get to decide.
Yeah, that's right. It's much easier for you. There's much less.
You don't have to worry about what he wants.
Yeah, you just work.
This is about you, which is okay.
All right. Would you rather have only an expensive engagement ring or only an expensive honeymoon? 8772 Radio U. We'll see what people are saying next.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
Since today is National Proposal Day, would you rather have a really nice ring, a really expensive engagement ring, or a really expensive honeymoon? And Isaiah, I don't know if you're seeing the responses come in here. It's overwhelming in one direction. This is crazy. Let me just go through. I'll go through all the reasoning in a second, but let's see Barb here, Susanna, Tim, Bree, Regina, D, all going with honeymoon.
No one yet has picked a ring.
Jared did.
Oh, yeah, Jared
Jared
did.
said
You're
ring.
right.
Jared's the only one that I've heard from so far that said ring. Jared said he would choose a ring over the honeymoon because a ring lasts forever.
True.
But if it was if it was wedding ceremony and reception versus honeymoon, he'd take the honeymoon. But that's not the question. I'm going to tell Jared, this is why I think I have to disagree with you, is because a ring lasts forever. That is true. But so do the memories of your honeymoon. What else needs to be said?
Like, how many memories are you really remembering from your vacations?
I think that's the most memorable times you have. My best memories are mostly on, I
don't even remember going to Disney when I was 11.
Well, you're not 11 when you get married and go on a honeymoon.
I'm just throwing a rebuttal out there. I went on a lot of vacations in my life.
Yeah.
Those are not bringing
you can't hide money.
Those aren't bringing me much joy today. Not lying. They aren't bringing me much joy today.
Well,
I've seen the Grand Canyon. I've seen it like 3 times.
Yeah.
And now you know what I get to say? I've seen the Grand Canyon, and it was fun, I think, from what I remember from 15 years ago. But that ring, every time my girl's plotting it around, if you gave me the opportunity, if I'm not paying for it, and if somebody said, here's $1 million, you have to spend it on a honeymoon or a ring.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that might say, I'll spend it on my girl's ring because every time she's walking around, people are going to be like, oh my gosh, look at your ring.
$1 million ring.
Oh my gosh, look at that ring.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I go on this incredible vacation, we'll make great memories, but nobody's going to be like, oh my gosh, your trip from 10 years ago was incredible.
Yeah, I don't know. The results don't lie, though, because we're seeing, and we just listed off a bunch of the people that had texted in saying honeymoon, like Susanna. She said that she didn't even want an engagement ring at all.
No ring.
We also had Bree, who said that she'd be fine with just a ring pop or matching tattoo rings as long as she got a real nice honeymoon instead. TJ says honeymoon as well. He's going with the honeymoon and saying that what kind of
it's a moissanite ring.
Moissanite, what is that?
It's not like a true diamond.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a really similar, like created in a lab type thing.
He says lab created and very similar to diamonds. I don't know if he's trying to suggest pulling a prank, pulling a fast one on your lady.
That's a pretty well known thing. The moissanite.
So there's a way to save money. And Bailey says my wife got both. Can't hide money.
Congratulations on your success.
Congratulations on that, Bailey. Another one, Abby says a honeymoon is way more fun. The ring is just an item, and it's usually expensive and debt-inducing. But at least for the honeymoon, we can have our vacation together. So that's what I'm saying. It's for both of you. And all the ladies are saying that. They want their man to be happy, too. I love that.
No, I'm telling you, I like the honeymoon. I would rather have the vacation. But I'm saying if someone gave me $1 million, would I spend it on a trip or an item that I'm going to have forever? I think an item would be a little bit more valuable to me. Because guess what? In 30 years, if my wife divorces me, we can split that ring. And we're never splitting that money from the honeymoon, are we?
And then that
item's gone. That item is in the rearview mirror.
That memory also becomes a lot more painful, possibly. But
hey, but $500K in my pocket, if it's $1 million ring, feels pretty good.
But if you're going into the honeymoon thinking, what if we get divorced? That's probably not a good honeymoon to start with.
And I would say that me and my gal-lee, we are very materialistic people, so we probably would lean honeymoon. But yet again, if somebody gave me $1 million and said, would you like an item or a trip? I would pick an item.
Hudson is the maple syrup, and Isaiah is the power protein flapjack. This is The Riot on RadioU.
And this is our segment, Our 2 Cents. Unlike the rest of the show, this is a time where Isaiah and I get to talk about whatever we want and say whatever we want. share our unfiltered opinions. Without further ado, this is our 2 cents.
Going back to unsubscribing from emails, I recently went on a tirade trying to clean out my mailbox.
Yeah.
And I have found that in the days following, I do not believe when they tell me that I have unsubscribed from emails. Because I feel as if, and this happened many times in a row, and I do not like this, I'd unsubscribe from some sort of stupid mailing list that I've gotten myself onto.
Yeah.
And then I swear to you, the next day, I'm getting emails from what I just unsubscribed from.
Yes.
I just unsubscribed yesterday. Yes, I remember. Why is TikTok still sending me notifications every time somebody likes or posts? I don't want that. I hate it. Every time I try to clear it out, it feels like half the ones I unsubscribe from actually unsubscribe, and the other ones found some sort of loophole to keep me on the mailing list. I absolutely hate it. I always hated it.
With you on that. I hate when they say, this is not my 2 cents, but I hate when they say you still may receive emails for several days following. It's like, why? Why would that be?
I just pressed the button.
Yeah, I know it should be instant. Anyways, I am excited that the solar eclipse is coming up.
Oh,
that's going to be cool, right? I mean, that's going to be a cool thing. I've seen videos of it. It's going to be cool. I don't remember ever seeing one in person, I don't think. But you know what you need for the eclipse? You need eclipse glasses. You can't look directly at that thing. You give yourself solar retinopathy, I read.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out the libraries around here, starting on Monday, were giving away free eclipse glasses. So I went yesterday. You know what they're already out of? Free eclipse glasses. I don't like that.
No, sir. I didn't like it.
If you want to get some, you can get some from my parents' toy store. How about this one? College basketball parody. You might be wondering, do I like it? Do I not like it? I don't like it. This is going to be a hard take for a lot of people. The Cinderella story doesn't happen as often as we'd like, and I don't think it results in great ratings. I think how college football, what everybody complains about, is the same teams in it every year. The blue bloods are always at the top, and they make it into the college football playoff. But that always produces ratings. Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, those teams always produce ratings. Florida Atlantic and San Diego State in the Final Four for me last year just didn't do it. I'm hoping this year we get more of the blue bloods that make it there. Cinderella stories are fun if they have a story. What was San Diego State's story? They didn't really have a story. And so for that reason alone, if you don't have a story that comes along with your Cinderella, then I'm okay with you guys losing in the first round. I would rather see the best teams. So for that reason, I don't really like it.
No, sir. I didn't like it.
A little Scrooge over there. I was very civically engaged yesterday. Not only did I go to the library, I also went and voted. It's primary season. I went and voted, did my civic duty. I'll tell you what I like. It's not necessarily the candidates I voted for. I reluctantly threw my name behind a few. But what I do like is that I've been getting endless texts from campaigns. I don't know how I got on these lists telling me who to vote for, whatever. This person endorsed this person. This person's paid for with dark money, blah, blah, blah. And what I've actually been doing, this is a double like. What I like is that, one, those will stop now. Two, I've been texting them back. And I know nobody's reading them. It's automated. They haven't responded to me. But I just like texting them back, being like, no, that person sucks. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel, I don't get involved on social media and stuff with politics, but I like just directly back at them. You're going to text me about politics, I'm going to text you back.
Wait till those text messages come out.
Yeah, that's right. And I like that.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
And that's our 2 cents.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.